So I just got back after being in New York for a couple of weeks, and while I was out in New York, I distributed a number of Blue Byron books, especially Homeless but Human. So I would go up to people, give copies to them, or go to these little libraries. They kind of look like bird feeders, and they're just on residential streets. It's a really cool way to encourage and promote reading. So it's kind of like take a book, leave a book. And during the trip to New York, I gave away over 200 copies of our books. And some of the times when I gave books away were in these little tree libraries, and I accumulated. I took a few books, and so I thought I would share in this video some that I have acquired. And I don't ever like look for things or books in particular. It's just kind of like what comes to me, right? So I think too, books acquired in New York carry a little bit more weight than typical. There's just more of a story behind it. You can remember where you were, what you were feeling. And in New York, there's so many bookstores and thrift stores that you can acquire books at. But this trip, it was mainly through the little library system. I was at Strand a couple times, and outside they have these racks. They probably have like 20 racks of used books. And I was really drawn to this Aldous Huxley biography. What were some other ones? A Joseph Campbell, Oriental Mythology. What's great about used books is that the covers aren't the new versions, and they're worn in. It's vintage. You can get copies from the 1960s, and the biography of what's an Indian spirituality teacher, Indian guru, who came to America in the 1890s during the Chicago World Fair. Naganda, I think is his last name. He comes up in some of these other books, which I guess I'll just get into it. One of the books is Autobiography of a Yogi that I acquired, and the book that I was interested in, and I hid them at the bottom of the rack, and then when I went back, people took them. So it's a lesson where, with anything in life, whether it's a fantasy football draft, dating, booking a trip to travel, your dreams, if you don't go for it and get it done, then it may pass and you might not get it. So be proactive, and just, if you want something, just go get it, right? So if I wanted those books at Strand, I should have just bought them right there instead of waiting, but I didn't. But these are the ones that I acquired instead. Autobiography of a Yogi. So this is another copy that I have. I don't mind getting multiple copies of books I love. So there's that one. Jonathan Haidt, The Happiness Hypothesis. I usually steer away from these kinds of books, like I call them airport nonfiction. You have an idea, and then you just find evidence to support it, and you put it, and then you publish it. That being said, I got it. The Crucible, Arthur Miller. I'm really into acquiring classics now for the potential of what we could do with our Rich Edition classics, and that's one of them. Mr. Wilson's Cabinet of Wonder. I actually got this at a thrift store in Brooklyn. I'm working on this library around me, but then I'll move into cabinets of curiosities. Back in the Enlightenment time, people would acquire these natural things, seashells or fossils, skulls, feathers, potions, or, you know what I mean? I've seen those at like lobbies, actually like anywhere, but like bars or hotels. I've been I've been in places where they have like a cabinet of curiosity and they'll have like old liquor bottles in there. It's really cool. I'm someone who really appreciates uh, just the vintage aesthetic. It's just Everyday Immortality by Deepak Chopra. Uh, Spirituality books are my go-to. They are my favorite ones, which is not something people really know about me or would think about me, I think. But spirituality books, religion books, I just like studying the world and ideas that have influenced it throughout time. Don DeLillo, 0K. I know nothing about this book except I have a few friends who Don DeLillo is their favorite author. So, not a bad thing to have, you know, a book in the library. Now, this is called The Hiding Place by Corey Ten Boom. I guess it's the Christian library, but I'm a sucker for these kinds of like old school printings. They're so elaborate and beautiful. You know, just the binding and just the simplicity, just you know, you don't have to have the Pulitzer Prize and then quotes and reviews. Like it's too noisy. I just like a simple cover. This one is called Inspired by Rachel Evans. It is slaying giants, walking on water, and loving the Bible again. I like the cover. I'm a sucker for anything that says like inspired and stuff like that. This one is Brooklyn Motto, Alex R. Johnson. I acquired this in Brooklyn. I'm not even sure what this book is, but I was really attracted to just the locality of it, the simplicity of it. I just like the feel of it, the non-busyness of it, the design. I don't love the design, but it's interesting. I'm always into interesting books, which brings me to probably my favorite one that I acquired, Happy If You Know It. What does it mean to trust our intuition? And just the way this book is designed is really fascinating to me. Margot Williamson is one of the people. It looks like it's a compilation, but I just think the design, look at the cover, the full cover, you have like kind of black and white, but then colors and kind of this artistic approach with it. And then you have some illustrations and just really inspired to get design ideas from this. I'm all about stealing ideas and using them. So we're gonna push boundaries artistically and innovatively with design with Blue Byron books, and I think this is a book that may lead that on. Okay, this is one I actually got in a thrift store in Brooklyn too. Start with the future and work back. I think that's important. Whatever your dream is, start there and then reverse engineer it, right? We are uncovering continuities between the past, present, and future. The rigid concepts of then and now soften to such a degree that future goals simply become an extension of past achievements. I'm into that kind of stuff. We got the Iliad by Homer. I think I have, how many, I don't know, Iliad, Odyssey, I have multiple copies of all these. You know, Alexander the Great slept with a copy of the Iliad. It was like in a scroll, right? And his dagger. So under his pillow he had a dagger and a copy of the Iliad. Oh, I love these kinds of books. The simplicity in the design and just the esoteric encyclopedia of eternal knowledge. Yeah, sign me up for that. Here we have some fiction. Sister of My Heart. I just like the cover design and what I think it's about. I noticed that I like pretty books, but vintage kind of looking. Here is The Figures of Beauty. Kind of mysterious. A sensuous, heartbreaking novel about art, beauty, and the choices we make that define us for life. This is Moonstone, Wilkie Collins. It looks like a classic, so another potential Rich Edition classic. Okay. The Rainbow Fish. How about we get a copy of The Rainbow Fish in the library? I'm energized to read this again, and this is an absolute gem. Classic. You gotta have this one in your library. And more, I feel, I don't know about inspired, but I admire Eric Carle, in his ability to take an aesthetic and produce stories within it. So this is The Secret Birthday Message. Here we have conversations with Scorsese. I like Scorsese's films. I remember reading something about him or watching a video about him, and he like broke down things that I don't remember anymore. But I think it comes down to like people and just showing like authentic things, you know? Scorsese. I love books that are just designed like this. The Other Side of Beauty. I think I picked this up in NoHo. I think I was in NoHo when I acquired that. South American Scenes, again, just like a very simple cover. I'm very drawn to these kinds of covers. They interest me. This one is St. Francis and the Wolf, hardcover book. Make Your Bed by William McRaven. This was a very popular book, self-development, and I thought, why not have a copy in the library? I don't mind having copies of very popular self-development books in the library. My library here. I love this one. When I saw this, I was like, yes. Structure, Consciousness, and History. I mean, that title, just sign me up. Then this nonfiction book, the simplicity, the vintage, it smells as it looks. Very vintagey. Structure, Self, and Evil. Architectonic Man. Yeah. Religions, Philosophies. Yeah. Here's some fun ones. Something Bloody Marvelous. I got this one in Bushwick, and it's all about the art of making drinks with gin. I'm a big gin. I like gin a lot. Koval is my favorite gin. I had gin martinis with a friend in Brooklyn Heights during this trip. Yeah, just sophisticated, simple gin martini. So I thought this was very fitting, very serendipitous. I thought this was really cool when I found it with the band war. And this is fashion and music. You know, here we have Elvis Presley. I thought this would be a fun addition to the library. Here we have Kiss, you know, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles are probably... Oh, here's a sneaky one. Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. I have 3 vinyl records of Herb Alpert. And it's just, it's interesting. Here we have the Beatles. So this was a fun book to come across. Speaking of the Beatles, I'm going through books right now, and I have quite a number of books on the Beatles. All right, just a couple left here. Insanely Simple. The obsession that drives Apple's success. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it in the end because once you get there, you can move mountains. Steve Jobs, Business Week, 1998. And we'll close on a couple that I have here. The Bible as a novel. The Bible as a single powerful story. And this is Page 116. Something you find in New York. You'll find these like interesting publications. And as someone who's running a publishing company, it allows for an expanding of potential ideas, potential books. It doesn't have to be a conventional thing that we put out. It can be anything we want. And so to just come across publications like this, it just kind of broadens the scope of what we can put out, what we can achieve too. So, all right. So those were the books that I acquired in New York City on the trip I just got back from. So hope you enjoyed this and got something from it. See you later.